Hey y'all, today's video, this is going to be a lot more serious and personal, but to all of the awesome people that I worked with over the years, they were incredible to me and we worked really hard together. You all deserve an answer, honestly. And the people who really don't know what's going on, they deserve an answer too. Today, I want to talk about why I really left Sweetwater Sound. So, I quit April 2021. It's almost like 2 years on the money. And I don't know. Something told me today, just make this video. Just make it. So, I go by Midnight Swami. My real name's Myron Fett. I worked there for about 3.5 years. Here you go. Here's my appreciation of service for 3 years working there. Definitely doesn't feel like it. Now, what needs to be said? It's not about the work environment. Every workplace corporation has their shit. But let's talk about me. What happened with me? So, the stress was manageable for the longest time. I was making 80 to 100 calls a day. I was happy. I was helping people with building their studio, getting to the next step, or at least trying to get some sort of direction on what they need to do. That's why I did the job. I loved helping people, and that was my intent. Where it started to go downhill, almost every sales engineer that was working there could tell you almost the date of when it happened. But if you remember when Sweetwater offered Ozone Maximizer for free with isotope, yeah, that was the start. Because that was right when COVID hit. That was right when they still went through with the promotion, knowing the fact that they had openly told us in emails that they didn't have the facilities to have every single person working remote. That ended up being not true because the first day that we had to be in lockdown in our houses, we had remote access available. It was slow. Knowing that, they still continued the isotope promo. And I went from being able to hardly manage 30 to 50 emails because of how slow their systems were, to waking up to 400 emails of invoices we needed to process for $0 to help people. And then on top of that, they expected us to follow up with every single person. They wanted us to do that. So once we got to a point where we could go back into the offices, it was like impossible to catch up. It was like I was swimming, I was drowning in the amount of work I was trying to do to catch up. I started having slips in my mental health and I was not doing well. It got to this point where I was taking time off just to try and get myself together. And it wasn't like a planned vacation. It was that bad. I was really going through it. And at the time, it was something where I've never experienced anxiety or depression. I was never diagnosed with it. Never went to a doctor for it because I hadn't been feeling it until then, until all of these things are going down. And on those days off, I would live stream. I would live stream me making beats because I enjoy doing that. Okay? What really happened after that, and I'm going to explain a little bit about some of the infrastructure. So they have a way of grouping people together, and they call them hoods. They have different hoods inside, and each one is not designated to a specific type of helper, like, oh, this is for drums, this is for guitar. No, it's that you're grouped up with different groups of people, okay? And you have a hood leader, if not two of them. And the first hood, there's two hood leaders in my hood, and one of them had quit to go do something huge with their life. Like, honestly, I'm not going to say their name. They know who they are. And I'm glad they've stayed in touch with me. Honestly, love you. But the other one, he was real mad about it. Real mad about it. And what I find interesting is what they were told as hood leaders is that it is their responsibility to keep up with the people in their hood. And it got to this point where instead of communicating to me that they had a problem with what I was doing in my free time and just assumed that I was making money making beats, which, by the way, I really don't make money making beats at all. Most people don't buy beats anymore, and they don't know how to really claim their rights. So this same person had the nerve to go above my head, and I'm not going to say their name. They went above my head to my manager, which, by the way, they have tons of managers on top of managers. It is a large corporation. So they went above my head, went to my manager. My manager went to his senior sales manager. My manager, when I came back, had the nerve to tell me all of this and tell me the conversation they had. By first introducing it, do you feel better? Yeah. And then they said, don't make it a habit. So that was the first strike with me. Don't make it a habit. What? Me trying to get myself together? Okay, noted. Then, what really happened after that is he told me the conversation he had with the senior sales manager. That senior sales manager heard what my manager said, heard what the senior sales engineer said, and said, whoa, 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 whoa. We can't assume that. There's two sides to every slice of bologna. And this is about my fucking mental health. I would, trigger warning. I was having suicidal thoughts. I was over 300 pounds. I was not happy. Okay? This was destroying me. And it was getting to this point where I was just falling behind. I wasn't making calls. I wasn't taking care of my health. I was smoking every day. This was just not good. And I just got to a breaking point. I quit. Because I didn't trust anybody in my hood. Not a single soul. Because that's what they were going to do. They weren't willing to communicate with me. Which, ironically, they would go complain about their customers and how their customers left them or how their customers would treat them. And they would be communicating with these people all the time. Tons of people, 80 to 100 calls a day. But they couldn't take 5 minutes out of their day to ask me, what are you doing? What's going on? And that was their responsibility. Now, I'm not saying it's everybody's responsibility to keep on people's mental health, but if we're working together, and mind you, if I'm not available and I have to be in a group with somebody, a hood, if they're not available, I take their call. If I'm not available, they take my call. That's how it works. We're supposed to be working together, helping people. It got to this point where we weren't. It got to this point where all I became was a button pusher, a processor. I wasn't helping people. And they make it very clear now that they don't help people. I ended up talking to some people years after I left that said, they had told me that there were other people in sales who had tried to make an initiative to create something so that we can help people, because their technical support cannot directly help you with certain things. They can technically support the product. There's certain creative things they couldn't help with, and sometimes being a sales engineer, we had to be somebody to help with both parts of that. We had to be creative with the solution, but also help you with, like, if you're going to do a certain creative thing, it's something where technically they can't train you. And that's fine. But then, what was told to those people is, we don't help people. You're not going to do that. Okay? So, little inside scoop on that. Now, in that time frame, I'm so defeated. I literally got up, called the people I thought I needed to call, went to my manager's office, and I didn't go above his head. I didn't go to the vice president of sales. I didn't go to Chuck, the CEO. No, I went directly to him. And you know what I told him? I told him everything that I was having a problem with, really. And that, yeah, I'm done. And if you think that treating people this way is going to keep them here, it's not. You're going to start seeing people leaving left and right because of the way they're being treated. And with that baloney comment, I told him there aren't two sides to the barrel of a shotgun. And he said, do you still feel that way? And I said, no, now I don't. But I need to make it very clear to you that the way that you're treating people, it's not going to fly. Like, even if it was a joke, that's not a very funny joke when I've told you multiple times about how I was doing with my mental health, and I had made it very clear to the people when I was taking off time. And either way, actually, scratch that. Another thing, their sick time and your vacation time was the same. So why does it fucking matter? That's none of your business. If there's no difference, you're just worried about somebody to fill the role. And that's what it turned into. It turned into just hiring people that aren't as qualified and want to get the sale and are not helping people. And now you're getting more returns, more stuff like that. Because it's people who do not care. And that's it. I realized I was just another face. And right when I started too, I used to make music that was funny. And I used to have my name, Myron Fett, on Facebook. I literally got called into an office saying, well, we don't want that representation of the company, so you need to not put that you're a sales engineer and be proud in what you do. Like, you can't associate the two because they thought it was bad for their branding. But inside, that's how they treat you. So, you know what? Yeah, This needed to be said. Seriously, because I've been holding on to this for too long. I didn't quit just because I was stressed, because I can handle that job. I was handling that job, and I was handling that job a lot better than some of the people that were in there. I guarantee you that. And it wasn't about making money, it was about actually having fucking integrity. There's a lot of people there that don't. And frankly, when I quit, that's what it showed me. It showed me those people have no integrity. They don't care about your mental health. They're not interested in helping you as much as they claim they do. So, what I will say though, is that realistically, when it comes to the infrastructure system, yeah, they support it way better than Guitar Center, Sam Ash, other companies, because they've got the tech side done. But when it comes to actually caring about people, as someone who was on the inside, I felt discarded. I felt like another number, another face, another badge in their system. So, if you ever ask me, if anyone ever asks me why I left Sweetwater, or ask me about Sweetwater, I'm just going to link them to this video. So, I love y'all. Have a wonderful day.